We are live and we can see that the S&P 500, let's see, it gained 0.59%, and let's see whether we can get a summary here from briefing.com, courtesy of Charles Schwab. And they are saying that today the stock market was able to build on yesterday's gains and added interest in the higher growth areas. The market opened modestly lower before finding momentum to the upside. There was a quick dip when a report came out suggesting Alphabet is going to pause hiring for 2 weeks. The market took the news in stride, and the knee-jerk selling interest soon took off, with the indices moving back to the highs of late afternoon in New York. The mega caps did some heavy lifting today, with the Vanguard Mega Cap Growth ETF (MGK) closing up 1.5% versus a 0.6% gain in the S&P 500 and a 0.7% gain in the Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight ETF RSP. The interest in high growth areas could be seen in the S&P 500 sector performance. Communication services was up 1.0%, information technology up 1.6%, and consumer discretionary up 1.8%. They were some of the best performers of the day, thanks in part to the respective mega cap components. Meta Platforms, Meta Platforms gained 4.2%, Apple gained 1.4%, Amazon gained 3.9%. Communication services was also bolstered by Netflix outsized gains after the company had better than expected Q2 results and lost only 970,000 subscribers, which was half the amount estimated. As for the laggards, the counter-cyclical sectors, utilities, consumer staples, and healthcare led the underperformers. The healthcare sector had a rough go today after a few components which reported earnings this morning sold off heavily. Elevance Health lost 7.6%, Biogen lost 5.8%, and Apple Labs gained 1.6%. They were all down big despite beating their earnings and revenue estimates and issuing above consensus guidances. With buyers favoring growth areas, the Russell 3000 Growth Index up 1.2% outpaced the Russell 3000 Value Index, which closed up only 0.4%. The 2-year note yield rose 2 basis points to 3.24%, and the 10-year note rose 2 basis points to 3.04% after testing 2.94% in early morning action. And this report ahead of tomorrow's open will be headlined by American Airlines, AT&T, AutoNation, Blackstone, DR Horton, Danaher, Dow, Freeport McMoran, Nucor, ASAP SE, Tractor Supply, Travelers, Union Pacific. Thursday's economic data includes weekly initial job claims and July Philadelphia Fed Index, June leading economic index. Okay, all of those things will come out tomorrow. So yes, that's a brief recap of what happened today, in the session of 20th of July 2022. Okay. Okay, the topic of this live session is potential short squeeze plays. So in this session, we're going to have a quick browse through some of the stocks we have in the list, and the folks at Reuters are reminding us again that having a high squeeze score, the score is determined by S3 partners. So having a high squeeze score does not guarantee that the stock will be squeezed, but it does highlight stocks that have a much higher squeeze potential than most of the stocks in the market. Okay. So a short squeeze score is calculated based on total short dollars at risk, short interest as a percentage of float, trading liquidity, and stock loan liquidity. Okay, so let's kick off with Faraday Futures. Yes, FFIE, that is on the number one of this list. So it lost 16.25%. Let's see what the short interest is for FFIE. Yes, I think we're seeing 59%. 50. Okay, it's saying according to Fintel it's 28.17%. Let's see what short squeeze it is saying. Okay, 28.57%. That is what FFI Fintel is. That is what the short squeeze is saying. Okay, so FFIE, Faraday Future Intelligence, lost 16.25%. Was there any news? There was no news. So without much waste of time, let's look at Canoo Inc. Go EV. Okay, gained 3.5%, down 1.45% in this post-market session. Let's see. Short interest is 26.39%. Okay, it wasn't really any news, so let's quickly have a look at the next one. The next one is Gossamer. goes up. So it gained 0.08%, down 2.67% in this post-market session. Let's get the short interest. Short interest of float is at 21.77%. Okay, there was no news as well. So let's look at the next one. Veru Therapeutics, VERV, yes, we got it. Verve gained 11.21%, but down 12.53 now, lost more than it gained. Let's see whether there's any news. It says Veru Therapeutics launches $200 million share offering. Stocks dive after hours. So this is after hours news. So it could also rise. It could also rally in the regular session of the 21st. That's tomorrow's session. Okay, let's see whether we can get a short interest for VERV. Veru Therapeutics, short interest, that is 7.73%. So let's look at the next one. The next one is Lightwave Logistics, LWLG, gained 9.63, unchanged in this post-market session. No news out there. Let's quickly have a look at the short interest. LWLG. Okay, short interest is 18.74%. So next one is Beam Therapeutics. It gained 5.11%, down 0.38% in this post-market session. No news there. Let's get the short interest for Beam. Short interest is 22.55%. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one is Cowen, CWON, COWN. So it gained 1.4% and unchanged in this post-market session. Okay, let's see whether we can get the short interest. COWN. Short interest is we don't have it there. Let's see whether we can get it from Fintel. COWN. I think it's 21.55%. Yes, 21.55%. Okay, next one is Veru, Veru, Veru Inc. Down, lost 3.39 in the regular session, down 0.62 in this post-market session. There was no news. And let's see whether we can get a short interest. VERU. Okay, we've got to find it here. Okay, short interest is 44.52% for Veru Inc. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Beyond Meat, BYND. Beyond Meat lost 1.04% and also lost 1.02%, and there was a piece of news written somewhere that the company is in trouble. So, and we all know what happens when stocks are in trouble. Market participants begin to squeeze the short sellers who are circling the stock to short sellers are usually circled to be squeezed. So let's see what's going on with BYND, short interest. Let's see what Fintel is saying. BYND. Okay, let's find it here. BYND. 42.37% according to shortsqueeze.com. Okay, so the next one is Fate Therapeutics, FATE. Okay, gain 0.43%, down 3.34 in this post-market session. Any news? Okay, no news. No, the news there was yesterday. Let's see what we can get. FATE. Okay, short interest 24.36% for Fate Therapeutics. Next one is Allogene. ALLO. Gain 5.71%, down 2.13%. Allogene. Let's see whether we can get any news. Okay, no news. Okay, there was a news, but it's a disclosure. Let's see whether we can get the short interests. ALLO. Short interest is 28.54% for Allogene Therapeutics. Next one is SpringWorks. SWTX. Gain 0.42%, down a further 3.01% in this post-market session. No news, just F4 Form 4 disclosures. Let's see whether we can get a short interest. SWTX SpringWorks. Short interest is 36.13%, increased by 7%. Okay, let's look at MicroVision. MVIS gained 0.19% but has lost 0.38% in this post-market session. Let's see, no news. Let's get the short interest. MVIS. MVIS short interest 41.67%, and it increased by 2%. So let's look at Lordstown. Right, it gained 9.76%, down 0.44% in this post-market session. No news. Volumes, let's get the volumes. 4.682 million shares across the tape. What do we have? Big gains, some gains here. The $3.50 calls has gained 100%, indicating that maybe by that's 19th of April, 19th of August, 350 calls. So an indication that buyers are looking in that sort of level, that sort of direction. $3.5 for ride. And let's see what the short interest is. That is right, Lordstown Motors. Short interest is at 29.22%. So that's things that's market option traders are pricing a move in that sort of direction. It doesn't mean that giving this short interest of 29.22%, if there's a squeeze, if further squeeze, then things can happen. But we can see that the short interest decreased by 1%, but still a strong figure at 29.22%. Let's see. Next one is Marathon Holdings, down 3.33%, down 1.2 in this post-market session. Okay, MicroStrategy, other crypto stocks rise as Bitcoin increases to near 24,000, but Marathon lost slightly, corrected because it has been on the move since, and we have a target for Marathon at 11.19. So that target has since been exceeded. I think we have another target. We have 11.19. Yes, it's been exceeded. Did we determine another target? Yes, our target is a 14.13. It hasn't reached that. 14.13 for Marathon. Okay, next one is AMC. AMC is again 7.09%, and gained a further 0.2% in this post-market session. There was a plunge, but it quickly bounced back. This is the sort of thing that you get when this is definitely a short sell here, and a squeeze back up. Short squeeze must have occurred here that took it back up above all of its moving averages in this post-market session. Quite interesting. So let's get the news for AMC. Okay, AMC repurchases $72.5 million of debt. Let's get the volumes. Volume is 47.504 million shares. That's the volume that's across the tape in this session. And let's see whether we have a target. Okay, we didn't set a target for AMC. Or rather, I think we did. We have a target of 17.28, so our target has been reached. So we'll just leave it there. We'll come back to targets some other time. And then next one is Erasca. Okay, let's get a short interest for AMC. Let's see, is it going to be here? Are we going to get it? Usually they don't present it. Let's see whether Fintel has it. Short interest is 19.67%. Okay, let's move on to the next one. It's Erasca Inc. Gained 8.24%, down 1.27% in this post-market session. So up 1.27% in this post-market session. Let's see whether we can get any news. There's no news for Erasca, ERAS. Let's quickly see if we can find a short interest. ERAS. Okay, 25.01% is the short interest, and it increased by 4%. Okay, so next one is Rocket. Rocket companies, RKT. Rocket companies gain 1.18%, up 0.11% in this post-market session. Okay, there isn't any news. Volume for Rocket is 2.198 million shares. Let's get the short interest. RKT. 31.65% is the short interest, and it has increased by 5%. Next one is Dick's Sporting Goods. DKS. Okay, gained 3.36 in the regular session, down 0.51 in this post-market session. Okay. Stifel Nicklaus adjusted price target for Dick's Sporting Goods to $84 from $75, maintains hold rating. Let's see what the volume was. 1.484 million shares, Dick's Sporting Goods. Let's get the short interest now. DKS. Short interest is 25.42, down 4%. Next one is MicroStrategy, MVIS, MicroStrategy. MSTR, MSTR. Okay, up 8.08%, down 1.55 in this post-market session. Okay, it says today MicroStrategy other cryptos rise as Bitcoin rises to near $24,000. Let's get a volume for MicroStrategy. 1.613 million shares across the tape. Okay, let's get the short interest from MicroStrategy. MSTR. Okay, let's see. They didn't indicate it there. Let's see whether we can get it from Google or Intel. MSTR. Since this guy's not going to show it. Okay, that is 7.67%. That's the short interest for MicroStrategy. The next one is Teladoc. Teladoc. TDOC. Teladoc Health. It gained 4.98%, down 0.46%. Let's get the short interest. TDOC. Short interest is not indicated there. TDOC. Fintel is saying it's at 22.7%. So the next one is Dutch. Okay, BROS. Dutch Bros gained 0.65%, up 0.26% in this post-market session. Do we have any news? There's no news out there. Let's see whether we can get the volume. 535,488 shares across the tape. Let's get the short interest. Okay, Fintel is saying it's 22.78% of the float. Okay, let's move on to Fisker Inc. An EV, FSR, EV maker. Okay, Fisker Inc. gained 5.6%, down 0.8% in this post-market session. It also plunged as well. There seem to have been a short squeeze. You can see the sharp plunge and then a sharp spike as well, taking it above all of its moving averages. Okay, let's get the short interest for FSR. Fisker Inc. Okay, the short interest is 31.49 according to shortsqueeze.com, and it's decreased by 5%. Okay, let's see. GameStop, GME. GameStop up 4.65%, down 0.47% in this post-market session. There should be some news. Wall Street bet stocks up. They were up in the pre-market. So it gained 4.65%. Let's get a volume. 2.84 million shares across the tape for GameStop. Let's see what the short interest is. I'm sure we don't need to bother because short squeeze won't indicate it, won't display it unless you subscribe. Short game Fintel is saying 20.98%. That's the short interest. Okay, the last of them all, Lucid, LCID, Lucid Group, down, or rather again 4.37%, down 1.03%. Was there any news? No news. Volume was 15.206. Let's see where they're pricing this one, where the option traders are pricing this LCID 2. Okay, it's trading at 21.05 now. Let's see anything higher than that so far. Most of the big gainers here are in the money already, but going by the volumes, can we say they are also looking at $24 and $23 for LCID? Okay, so let's get the short interest for LCID before we wrap up. LCID short interest is 25.58%, and it has gained 4%. So those were the list of the 25 stocks according to S3 partners that have what are this? They have the highest scores, the highest these 25 stocks. These 25 stocks have the highest. They have the highest short squeeze scores based on their estimations, and they determined these scores by calculating, or rather, they are based on total short dollar as risk. Okay, they are based on total short dollar as risk, short interest as a percentage of float, trading liquidity, and short loan liquidity. Okay, so see what you make of all of these, and signing out. Okay, so thank you all very much for joining this live session.